I took the job as a winter caretaker at Denali's remote research station because I needed to disappear. After my divorce, the idea of 6 months alone in the Alaskan wilderness, no cell service, no internet, just me and the frozen expanse, sounded like exactly what I needed. The helicopter dropped me off on November 3rd. The pilot, a grizzled man named Dutch, gave me one piece of advice as he unloaded my supplies. If you see another ranger out here, it's not a ranger. We don't patrol this sector in winter. Ever. I laughed it off. Thought he was just trying to spook the newcomer. I should have listened. The station was a small cabin with solar panels and a radio that only worked when the weather cooperated. My job was simple. Monitor weather instruments, document wildlife activity, and survive until April. The first 2 weeks were peaceful. I fell into a routine: morning readings, afternoon snowshoe hikes, evenings by the wood stove reading the journals left by previous caretakers. Then I found the footprints. They circled the cabin, fresh, made within the last few hours while I'd been inside. Boot prints, definitely human, but wrong somehow. The stride was too long, the depth uneven, like someone was injured or dragging something. I grabbed my binoculars and scanned the tree line. Nothing but white silence and the skeletal fingers of frozen spruce trees. That night I heard it. Footsteps on the roof. Slow, differential. Walking from one end to the other, then stopping directly above my bed. I lay frozen, listening. My rifle was across the room. The footsteps continued for 20 minutes, then silence. In the morning, I climbed up to check. More prints, but they ended at the edge of the roof. No ladder marks, no way up. And more disturbing, they led away from the cabin in a straight line toward the mountains, never deviating, as if whoever made them was walking with absolute purpose. I tried the radio. Static. Over the next week, the encounters intensified. I'd find my equipment moved. My snowshoes placed outside the door when I knew I'd stored them inside. Once, I discovered my emergency flare gun fired into the sky. I found the spent cartridge in the snow, but I never fired it. Then came the knocking. 3 knocks. Always 3. On the door, on the windows, on the walls. Sometimes at 2 a.m. Sometimes at noon. Always 3 knocks, then silence. I never answered. I started reading the previous caretaker's journals more carefully. Most were mundane. Weather reports, animal sightings. But then I found entries from 2019, written by a ranger named Marcus Webb. November 15th. Someone's watching the cabin. I see him in the trees. December 3rd. The knocking won't stop. 3 knocks. Always 3. December 18th. I know who it is now. It's Ranger Dalton. But Dalton died in 2003. I found the memorial plaque near Sector 7. The final entry was dated December 24th. He's not a ghost. He's real. And he's not alone. There are others. They wear the uniforms. They know the protocols. But they're not rangers. They never were. The rest of the pages were torn out. I researched Ranger Dalton on the station's archived files. Found his photo. A man in his 50s, weathered face, cold eyes, disappeared during a winter patrol in 2003. His body was found 3 months later, frozen, 15 miles from any trail. The official report said exposure, but the autopsy photos showed something else. Defensive wounds, signs of captivity. That's when I understood. Dutch's warning wasn't about ghosts. It was about survivors, or something worse. On my 43rd night, the knocking stopped. The silence was worse. I woke at 3 a.m. to find my door open. I always locked it, always. Standing in the doorway, silhouetted against the moonlit snow, was a figure in a park ranger uniform. He didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there, head tilted at an unnatural angle. "Who are you?" My voice cracked. He took one step inside, then another. His movements were jerky, wrong, like a puppet with tangled strings. In the dim light, I could see his face, frostbitten, scarred, but unmistakably human. He raised one hand and knocked 3 times on the doorframe. Then he smiled. I grabbed my rifle and fired a warning shot into the ceiling. He didn't flinch, just kept smiling, kept walking toward me. I fired again, this time at his leg. He stumbled but didn't fall, didn't cry out, just kept coming. That's when I saw them. Through the open door. More figures in ranger uniforms, standing in a semicircle around the cabin. 6 of them, all watching, all waiting. I ran. I grabbed my emergency pack and crashed through the back window. The temperature was -30. I had maybe 2 hours before hypothermia would kill me, but I ran anyway. Into the darkness, into the frozen wilderness, because staying meant something worse than death. I could hear them behind me. Not running, walking, always walking. Their footsteps crunching in the snow in perfect rhythm. I found a ravine and slid down, hiding under an overhang of ice. I stayed there for 6 hours, watching their silhouettes pass above me, methodically searching. When dawn broke, they were gone. I made it to the emergency supply cache 12 miles south. Used the satellite phone to call for extraction. The helicopter came within 4 hours. Dutch was the pilot again. He saw my frostbitten face, my wild eyes, and just nodded. "You saw them," he said. It wasn't a question. I never went back. The Park Service listed me as completing my contract. They sent my belongings to my forwarding address, but they never asked what happened. 3 months later, I received a package. No return address. Inside was a park ranger badge with the name Dalton engraved on it. And underneath, a note in handwriting I recognized from the journal. "Welcome to the Winter Patrol. We'll see you next season." I burned it all. But sometimes on cold nights I still hear it. 3 knocks. Always 3. And I know they're still out there. Waiting. Walking. Watching. Because in the Alaskan wilderness, some rangers never leave their post.